What do you do when the man who raised you signs you out of the family like you were a mistake, then smiles like he has one? Stay with me as I unfold this shocking story. And please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, it truly keeps me going. The day my father erased me did not start with shouting. It started with polished wood, cold air, and a circle of people pretending they were not hungry. The conference room at Delaney Maritime looked like a church built for money. Walnut table. Wall of windows over downtown Savannah, Georgia. My father, Everett Delaney, sat at the head in a navy suit, calm in the way that makes you feel like you are the only one with fear. For years I told myself his distance was only pressure from the business. My mother died when I was 14, and my father remarried within 2 years. Cynthia arrived with a soft voice and a sharp memory for every mistake I made. After that, I stopped hearing pride in my father's praise. I only heard evaluation. I earned scholarships, but I still returned because he said the company needed me more than any classroom did. I worked storms and strikes, sleeping on office floors so our drivers could go home. I canceled vacations and pushed my own dreams aside, hoping if I stayed loyal long enough he would finally see me as his daughter again. Beside him sat my stepmother, Cynthia, wearing pearls that used to belong to my late mother. On his other side sat my half-brother, Jace, tapping his fingers like this was a show. I sat 3 seats down with a folder of evidence. I was the director of operations. I was also the one who noticed the missing containers and fake invoices months ago. I did not go looking for war. War came to my desk as numbers that did not add up. When I asked my father for a private meeting, he told me to bring it to the board. His voice was flat. In that moment I realized he already knew. Now the boardroom was full of lawyers and investors. My father cleared his throat. "We have a breach of trust," he said. A slide appeared behind him. Not my report. Photo of my badge. My signature on an approval form. He spoke like he was reading weather. An unauthorized transfer of funds moved through operations. It appears to have been approved under Asha Monroe's authority. My chest tightened. I opened my folder, ready to explain the forged approvals and the mailbox vendor address. But he never gave me space. "As of this morning, Asha Monroe is suspended pending investigation," he continued. "Her access has been revoked. She will also not be included in any future ownership or inheritance arrangements of this company." The word inheritance landed like glass in my throat. Understood. "Dad, you know I did not do this." He looked at me like I was a stain. "Sit down. Do not embarrass yourself." A lawyer slid a paper toward me, asking me to sign an acknowledgement. I did not touch it. I pulled out my first page of evidence. "I can prove it is not me," I said, voice shaking. "The vendor is fake. The transfers connect to a consulting firm tied to Cynthia's brother." Cynthia's mouth tightened. Jay sat up, suddenly awake. My father's eyes went hard. "Stop." "I will not stop," I said. "You are letting me take the fall." He hit the table once. The sound made everyone flinch. "You have always been quick to accuse. That is why you cannot be trusted with legacy decisions." Legacy. Like love. Like family. 2 security guards appeared at the door, private guards, not building staff. Cynthia's fingerprints were all over that. One guard stepped closer. "Ma'am, we need you to come with us." I looked at my father, desperate for one human crack in his face. "Why are you doing this?" For a second, something flashed in his eyes. Not guilt, fear. Then he covered it with ice. "Because you are not a Delaney," he said. "You are a Monroe. You chose that when you went hunting for dirt. Now leave." My mother's name used like a slap. The guards walked me out. I kept my head up because breaking in that room would have fed them. By the time I reached my car, my phone was blowing up with alerts. Email access revoked. Badge deactivated. Calendar wiped clean. A news headline already forming. Delaney Maritime executive suspended amid internal theft investigation. I drove to the one place my father did not control, my grandmother's house, now empty but still mine. My grandmother, Odessa Monroe, had kept secrets the way some people kept prayers. Everett thought he owned every corner of our family. He was wrong. I found her safe behind a painting. The combination was my birthday. Inside was a thick envelope addressed to me and a small key. Asha, if you are reading this, then Everett has finally shown you his real face. Do not beg him for a seat at a table you helped build. Build your own table. My eyes burned as I read. Under the note were trust documents in my name, independent and locked away years ago. $7 million invested quietly, growing while I worked myself tired for a man who planned to discard me. I sat on the floor with the papers in my lap and let the grief hit. Not only grief for my grandmother, but grief for the girl in me who believed blood meant protection. When the tears dried, something colder replaced them. I opened my laptop and pulled up Delaney Maritime's filings and debt reports. I studied the weak points, the interest payments, the vendor concentration, the lawsuits my father always kept out of public view. I also studied the one rival he never stopped watching. Harborstone Shipping. Harborstone was smaller and hungrier, led by Janelle Sykes, a black woman my father called reckless because she was not afraid of risk. He did not hate her. He feared her. A scandal like this was blood in the water. I could have taken my trust money and disappeared. Started a quiet life. He would have told everyone I stole from him, and the world would have believed him. Instead, I made a different plan. I created a new email account under a name that was not mine. I wrote one message to Harborstone's investor relations address. I can help you by Delaney Maritime. If you are serious, reply with a safe number. I hit send and stared at the screen, waiting for my courage to collapse. Did not. The next morning a text came from an unknown number. One word. When. Janelle Sykes did not call me. She sent coordinates, a parking garage near the river, 3rd level, midnight. I arrived in a rented gray sedan paid with cash. 2 minutes later a black sport utility vehicle rolled in. Janelle stepped out in a long coat, tall and still, eyes scanning every exit like she expected trouble to sprint at her. You wrote me like you were a stranger with money, she said. But you are not a stranger. My throat tightened. You do not know me. I know enough, she replied. Delaney Maritime is blaming you. You are either guilty or you are furious. I am furious, I admitted. And I am not guilty. She held her hand out. I gave her a packet, proof of capital without my personal details, and a simple plan, buy Delaney Maritime's debt, tighten the net, then offer a bid when the scandal weakens their price. Janelle's eyes sharpened. Say his name. Everett Delaney, I said. Her smile was brief and sharp. Then listen. Takeover is not a speech. It is paperwork, timing, and silence. If you want this, you will erase yourself from every trail. The next days became my double life. I could not wire money directly from my grandmother's trust to Harborstone. That would light up every alarm in my father's network. So I built layers that could move without my name on them. 2 small companies filed through a corporate service firm. Business accounts at regional banks. An attorney my grandmother once helped, now returning the favor without asking questions. Each transfer was steady and unremarkable. Janelle's finance team used the capital to buy Delaney Maritime's debt through brokers and funds that never cared who the source was, only that the wire cleared. In public, I played the role my father wrote. The suspended executive. The disgraced daughter. I answered no reporters. Posted nothing. I let the internet call me greedy and unstable. I let the gossip do what gossip always does. Turn a woman into a villain so a powerful man can remain clean. My father sent me one message during that second week. Return the company laptop or I will press charges. Not a question about my health. Not a word of doubt. Just a threat over an object. I left the laptop with security after hours and drove away shaking, not from fear of jail, but from the realization that he valued control more than truth. The hardest part was the people. Drivers texted me quietly, asking if I was okay. A dispatcher cried on the phone and said she did not believe the story. I kept thinking about the crews who worked through storms because I pushed for hazard pay. A takeover could cut jobs, And that thought stalked me at night. So I made one condition written and signed. Harborstone would keep Delaney Maritime's workforce intact for 12 months after the acquisition. No pay cuts, no mass layoffs. Janelle did not like it. You still want to save everybody, she said. I want to keep my soul, I answered. She stared at me, then agreed. 12 months. But if your father has hidden liabilities, we protect our side. Hidden liabilities. That phrase haunted me. On the third week, my secret nearly cracked. I left my attorney's office and noticed a man in the lobby pretending to read a magazine. He did not turn a page. His eyes followed me in the reflection of the glass door. In my car, my phone buzzed with a blocked number. You should stop, a male voice said. The Delaney family is watching you. My pulse raced. Who are you? Someone who knows you met with Harborstone, the voice replied. Your father does not lose, Asha. He buries problems. The line went dead. I drove straight to Janelle, hands tight on the wheel. She listened, then said, I already knew. My head snapped up. You knew I was being followed. I knew who you were, she corrected. I identified you the first night. I wanted to see if you would tell me the truth without being forced. My anger flared, then folded into fear. Then we are exposed. Not yet, she said. But your father is moving. He is stripping assets. She slid a folder across the desk. Loans tied to properties in other people's names. Cynthia's brother. Jace's friend. Even a church account Everett donated to for public praise. He is making the company toxic so no one can buy it, Janelle said. If he succeeds, your revenge becomes a story with no ending. I remembered the flash of fear in his eyes at the board meeting. He was not afraid of me. He was afraid of what I could uncover. Janelle leaned forward. We need them distracted while we tighten the net. Tomorrow you go to the Delaney house. Let them see you. Let them underestimate you. While they stare at your front door, we take their back door. I wanted to say no. I wanted to keep my dignity away from that house. But pride does not win wars. That night I drove to the Delaney mansion and walked up the steps like I still belonged. Cynthia opened the door and smiled like sugar on poison. The thief returns. I am here for my personal things, I said, voice small on purpose. My father stood in the living room, water glass in hand, eyes cold. You should have signed, he said. I did not steal, I replied. He stepped closer. You always wanted control. Now you have none. That should teach you. I let my shoulders drop like I was defeated. I moved through the house gathering clothes and old photos while they watched me like a criminal on probation. Cynthia's phone rang. She took the call in the kitchen, whispering. I caught one phrase as I walked past. They are close to finding it. Finding what? When I left, I texted Janelle from my car. Cynthia said they are close to finding it. They are hiding something. Janelle replied in seconds. But tomorrow we make them lose it. The takeover did not start with a knock on my father's door. It started with a headline. On a Monday morning, every business screen in Savannah flashed the same words. Harborstone Shipping announces unsolicited bid for Delaney Maritime. Shares jump. Reporters camped outside the building. People who never cared about shipping suddenly argued like they owned a port. I watched from my grandmother's living room, coffee cold, hands shaking. I expected satisfaction. Instead I felt grief too because a part of me still wanted my father to choose me. Janelle called. It is public, she said. Stay quiet. That afternoon Delaney Maritime released a statement calling the bid hostile and a threat to stability. My father always wrapped ego in noble language. His counterattack landed that same night. Anonymous emails hit the media, claiming I was secretly working with Harborstone and that I had sabotaged the company from inside. My photo, my history, even private details, thrown onto the internet to poison my name. The fear was sharp, but Janelle's voice stayed steady. He wants you to react. Do not. 2 days earlier, when I returned to the Delaney house, I had left a small recording device inside a hallway picture frame. I told myself it was insurance. Now it was a blade. The recording captured Cynthia on multiple calls. One call made my stomach drop. "We move the documents tonight," she whispered. "If auditors see the port lease payments, Everett is finished. Blame Asha. The board already hates her." Port lease payments. Hidden documents. That was the thing they were close to finding. Janelle's lawyers filed for a court-ordered inspection tied to the takeover bid, arguing Delaney Maritime statements were incomplete and shareholders deserved disclosure. Under market pressure and board panic, a judge granted a limited review. That review cracked my father's fortress. Auditors found 2 sets of books, a clean story for investors and a dirty one for real life. They found payments tied to a storage yard outside Brunswick where hazardous waste from ship maintenance had been dumped illegally for years, hidden behind fake vendor names. They found a lease signed by Everett Delaney, and bank links to Cynthia's brother. My name was on the approvals forged. Federal investigators showed up at the port. Lenders tightened. Investors demanded answers. Delaney Maritime's value sank like a stone, and Harborstone raised its offer. The takeover succeeded that Friday. A shareholder meeting was held in a downtown hotel ballroom because the Delaney building was swarmed with cameras. Investors and employees packed the room. My father stood on stage, shoulders stiff, eyes red. When the vote results were announced, Harborstone had acquired controlling interest. Everett Delaney was no longer in charge. The sound in the ballroom was not applause. It was a roar, relief, anger, shock, all mixed together. Janelle walked to the microphone. "Employees," she said, "you will not pay for executive sins. There will be no pay cuts and no mass layoffs for 12 months. Murmurs of relief swept the room. My father snapped. "You think you can walk in and take what I built?" Janelle replied, "You already gave it away to lies." Then she turned her eyes toward me. "Asha Monroe, stand." The room swung toward the back like one body. I stood, heart thundering. Janelle said, "Asha Monroe is not the thief Delaney Maritime tried to sacrifice. She is the investor who funded the purchase of Delaney Maritime's debt and the evidence that exposed the real theft." My father's face tightened into disbelief. "You," he breathed. He tried to step forward, but his lawyers grabbed him. I walked to the stage and took the microphone. "You framed me," I said. "You disinherited me in public. You used my mother's name like an insult. You wanted me silent." His voice broke. "You destroyed your own father. You destroyed your daughter first," I answered. "I only refused to stay buried." Cynthia stood off to the side, pearls bright under the ballroom lights, face pale. I played the audio recording. Cynthia's whisper filled the speakers. "Blame Asha. The board already hates her." The room went cold. Federal agents stepped forward. One moved to Cynthia with handcuffs. She screamed. "Everett told me to do it." My father turned to her with a look that said he had never expected betrayal to reach him. Jace tried to slip out a side door, but another agent stopped him. The frame job had grown into a net, and the net was closing. Later, after statements and lawyers and flashing cameras, a nurse called me. Everett Delaney had collapsed during questioning. High blood pressure. Chest pain. Fear can do that to a man who believes he is untouchable. I went to the hospital not to forgive him, but to hear the truth from his mouth. He lay in a white bed, smaller without his suit. When he saw me, shame flickered across his face. "Why?" I asked. "Why did you disinherit me like I was nothing?" He swallowed hard. "Because the investigation was coming," he admitted. "I thought if the board believed you were out, they would not look at you. I thought I could protect you." "Protect me by ruining my name," I said. His eyes closed. I panicked. I tried to control it. I thought I could fix it later. Fix it later. Like my pain was paperwork. "I am sorry," he whispered. I did not reach for his hand. Understood. "Your company is not yours anymore," I said. "But your employees will be protected because I demanded it. That is the only mercy you will get from me." As I turned to leave, he spoke again, quieter. "There is something you do not know," he said, pointing to a thick envelope on the bedside table. "Open it in 30 days, not now. If you open it too soon, they will come for you." "They," I repeated. His eyes held mine, filled with real fear. "The people I owed," he whispered. "The people who taught me how to hide." I took the envelope and walked out into the night air, river lights glittering like broken glass. My revenge was complete, my name was clearing, and my father was finished. But the weight of that envelope told me one thing. I did not inherit his company. I inherited his war. Thank you for watching till the very end. Please subscribe to my channel. Truly means a lot. Before you go, let me ask you this question. If you were Asha, would you have taken the quiet money and walked away? Or would you have done the takeover too? Until next time, stay strong, take good care of yourself. Goodbye for now.